One with the intelligence to make a run for it with good timing was a different story. Aura, don't let that one get away. Capture it. Aura instantly understood what Aints meant despite his vague instructions. The Naga was attempting to sneak away under cover of invisibility, but she arrived at its side instantaneously. Lord Aints, I caught it. Now what? Aints ignored Gu and looked over to where Aura had a one-handed vice grip on the Naga's neck. His attitude spoke volumes to Gu and everyone else in the room. He didn't consider Gu a worthy opponent. When Gu bared his teeth and growled in response to the scalding condescension, Aints didn't care. Hey kid, the Naga wrapped its body around Aura until she was completely covered. I am going to constrict until you pop. From inside the ball of snake body came a composed voice. I can see Lord Aints' majestic figure like this. If you make a fuss, I'll crush half your throat. I have to be careful you don't die. Sensing the power gap from that tiny fist, the Naga shrieked and unwound its body. Aura, time is money, and only fools spend unwisely. Please move somewhere a bit out of the way so it doesn't get killed in the crossfire. Understood. Aura had no trouble dragging away the Naga. It was several times her weight. Aints shifted his gaze from that scene to Gu. Gu was finally able to stand up. The flesh around his stump had bulged. His muscles healed thanks to his regeneration ability. You're patched up. Then shall we continue? Aints tapped his wand on his shoulder. He readied himself in an unconcerned way. His attitude made it clear he wasn't going to bother defending himself. What did you do? What are you doing? Magic. When Gu with his sword up withdrew a few steps, Aints stepped forward after him. Aints' gait was short compared to Gu's. There was more space between them now than before they had started the fight. HMPH, Aints snorted. What's this? How strange. I am the one with the cowardly name, but I stepped forward. You with the brave name are backing away. Why is that, Gu? The answer came in a monotone. It's because Lord Aints' name is brave, and Gu is a weird, cowardly name, right, Snake? Why, yes. And you, Lord Aints Ulgaun, are the proof of that. Aints nodded a few times at the one cute girlish voice and the other sobbing voice. I see. That makes sense then. So short names are cowardly, and Aints Ulgaun is a name for great, courageous people, right? Why you, shush, coward. Gu overcame his fear with fury and lashed out, but Aints neither defended nor dodged. He swung back with his wand. He didn't allow it to be blocked with the sword or evaded. The wand obliterated one part of Gu's body. Kara! Amid the echoing scream, Gu's subordinates looked on in fear. I expect nothing less from a troll. You can be turned into hamburger meat and still come back to life, but it does seem to hurt. That last blow was your weakest, yet the swing of a coward with defense in mind, trying to protect himself from my attacks. Aints was looking at Gu's head, which was now half its original thickness. Any normal creature would be dead, but Gu returned to his former shape before Aints' eyes. Though the troll had gone back to normal, his face was bizarrely contorted. Terror filled his eyes, the fear of someone helpless, twice as intense as before. What are you? Why don't my attacks work? Aints cocked his head. Then he slowly spread his arms. I am death, and I have come to deliver it unto thee. Kill him, you guys, Aints said in extremely good humor. Oh ho, just what I expect from a guy with such a cowardly name. Breaking your word to duel me one-on-one? How fitting, so I'll forgive you. Captive to the fear of an unfathomable monster, Gu's subordinates moved sluggishly. No matter how stupid they were, they could sense Aints' might. They had just witnessed such a display of it, they felt sick. Two fears were in conflict within them. They all hesitated, looking between Aints and Gu. Now, they still didn't move. How could they? That went for Aints as well. Everyone was frozen in a delicate balance. If anyone moved, the balance would collapse and everyone would scatter. It would be a pain to chase them all down to kill them. Then yes, playtime is over. Aints activated a skill he didn't consider very effective, but it was actually overpowered in this world. It was Aura of Despair. The aura radiated from his core and spread throughout the area. The ogres, the trolls, and Gu crumpled to the ground, exactly like marionettes whose strings had been cut. Sprawled on the ground, the monsters didn't so much as twitch. It was clear that though their bodies were still warm, the flames of their lives had gone out. In the now silent cave, a fearful elderly voice echoed out. What did you do? Aints turned to look at the Naga. It was shrinking back in order to move even a short distance away. He answered, I just used a skill. Trolls may be able to regenerate, but that doesn't mean they have perfect resistance to instant death. You're all worthless in the first place. I thought rather than meaninglessly killing you, I would use you for something, but I figured if you refuse to bow to my rule, I would kill you and be done with it. I will be your servant. Yielding to the strong is only natural for the weak. Going forward, I would like to exert myself to the fullest for you, my lord. Aints looked quietly at the Naga, pressing its head into the ground. Then he shrugged lackadaisically. Well, whatever, I don't care. I did come here to negotiate after all. Terrible. You truly think nothing of me at all. Though I have ruled the Western Forest all this time, you feel about me as if I were a rock on the ground that just happened to look like an animal. No, I have a little more interest in you than that. You mentioned something about dark elves, didn't you? I'd like to hear more. Of course, my lord. I will tell you everything I know. So Aints gestured for it to continue, and the Naga spoke again. If I talk, please don't kill me, I can promise that. If you work earnestly and loyally for me, I'll provide adequate compensation. Before that, do you have any underlings? Were you ruling the western region on your own, in the same way that Hamusuk-ur, the wise king of the forest, ruled the south? No, I have subordinates, but I didn't bring them to this talk with you. They don't have the power to turn invisible and flee if the discussion broke down. I see. Next question, do you have any trolls? Just one. Wonderful. So can we have him play the role of the giant of the east? Well, no, that's tricky, okay? In a few days I'll bring some of my know you should come to the building this one is constructing. Aura, let it go. Are you sure? It's fine. It swore its allegiance. If it betrays us, I'll just come up with a different way to use it. Aura's slender hand let go of the Naga's neck. Beneath it was a blue bruise in the shape of her grip. Aints no longer paid attention to the nervous, yet somewhat relieved Naga. He walked over to Gu's corpse. I can remember what the stats for troll zombies are like. Aints could create undead from corpses using a skill. They were only zombies and skeletons, but depending on the corpse he started with, the zombies could be fairly strong. Dragon zombies were a well-known example. Aints picked up the fallen great sword. It was far longer than he was tall, so he took advantage of a basic ability contained in magic items to convert it to an appropriate size. If he tried to swing a sword too big for him to equip, the action would be immediately cancelled, but just holding it was no problem. I guess I should up the fighting power of the individuals in that village. Maybe giving them this magic weapon is a good way to do that. After all, there's no point in bringing it back to Nazareth. Lord Aints Ul Gaun, you still have more to say. Aints turned back to the Naga, appearing apathetic. There's no way I could possibly betray you, my lord. Who could, having seen your chilling eyes and the way they gaze at us like an ant at the side of the road? I don't think my eyes are that expressive. Is that a special ability you have? Demiurge is observant, but not even he can understand how I truly feel. It's not a special ability, but I can at least tell whether someone takes an interest in me or not. Aints thought maybe Nagas had a racial skill or something. I see, got it. Now get out of here and bring us your underlings. That's your first order. Yes, sir. 49:07 p.m. Nazareth time. Demiurge arrived at Aints' office with his usual elegance. First he bowed deeply to Aints, who was seated before him. Then he bowed shallowly to Mare and Cocytus, who were also present. He nodded to the maid in the room. Aints replied with a nod and continued his message with Entoma. All right, Entoma, give Lupus Regina permission. Just make sure she protects those three with her life. Understood. I'll give her the orders. Demiurge strode to the center of the room. Aints had to wonder jealously how he managed to look so cool when he walked. Every movement burst with confidence. Was it because he stood so straight? Demiurge stopped sharply, and Aints came back to himself. Thanks for coming, Demiurge, my lord. Thank you very much for the invitation. Have you finished your message with Entoma? There weren't any issues. I got the report and she had some questions. The test went fine, wonderful, and thank you for working around my schedule. No worries, Demiurge. It's only natural to schedule around the man who works the hardest for Nazareth, and you are not late at all, so really, don't worry about it. Now I'd like to ask for your impressions. Aints handed him a piece of paper. When he saw that Demiurge's eyes had gone over it, he asked a question. As you can see, it's a menu. What do you think? It's for a human couple and possibly a child. I think humans should eat anything you serve them without complaints, my lord. But that isn't the answer you're looking for, so not all children can appreciate foie gras. Also, Don T, you think it might be good to have something a bit lighter? I see. Thanks for the input. Oh, you needn't thank me, Lord Aints. Are you inviting someone to the Supreme Being's sacred tomb? Yeah. I'd like to give them a nice welcome. Well, it was less about making them welcome than winning them over. Essentially, he was using his assets to pressure them and presenting them with benefits in order to maintain good relations going forward. Are you sure? Why not? Is there a problem with it? No, my lord, nothing like that. Your word is correct. Back in the days of the game, they almost never invited non-guild members to the Great Tomb of Nazarick. They invited Yameko's little sister, whose screen name was Akemi-chan, a few times, but that was about it. Still, there was never a rule that said they couldn't have anyone over. It just happened that they hadn't really. So I don't think any of my guildmates would be upset if I invited Enfira and Enri. There's a clear difference between raiders and guests. Demiurge seemed to have something on his mind, but Aints addressed him and the two waiting guardians. Guardians, are you ready for the baths? Apologies, but Mare and I will pick up what we need on the way. I see. Cocytus, did you bring your own supplies? Then let us meet in front of the baths. Inclement, if anyone comes to see me, have them wait. Understood. Upon getting the maid's response, Aints stood up and left his room. After stopping the servants who were going to follow him, he led the way to the bathhouse, which was also on the 9th level. Personally, Aints wanted to walk side by side and chat on their way, but Cocytus was too reserved for that. He probably hadn't noticed Aints feeling a bit lonely, but he did close the distance between them a little and ask, Lord Ainz, there seem to be fewer 8-edged assassins in your room. Did you send someone somewhere? Though disappointed he brought up work, Aints consoled himself. That is how small talk goes sometimes. He concealed the fact that his voice had been about to come out so happily. They were at the inn in Rantel. Narbril is in my room in case of any unexpected visitors. Others should be keeping an eye on her from a distance. Isn't it dangerous to leave only Narbril? It probably is. Now would be the time to attack. I see. So she's live bait then? Yeah. If the enemy who brainwashed Sholtia is watching us, Narbril would be a drool-worthy target. No one has attempted to approach Momon, who defeated the immensely powerful vampire Sholtia well under a different name. So if Momon isn't around and it's just one caster, then they'll bite, who knows? If they did, we'd catch them for sure. Aints gestured, pulling up a fishing rod. Then will we mobilize the entire army? No. First we'll investigate our opponent. If they're equal or stronger than us, we'll have to adjust our attitude accordingly. Cocytus emitted a little groan like he understood, but couldn't endure such a thing. Logically, I understand that we need to be patient, but my emotions remain agitated. We only have to wait until we've made a careful investigation of our opponent and grasped their weakness. Once that is done, we'll rip their intestines apart with our teeth and make them faint from the pain. To brainwash Sholtia and force me to kill her is a serious crime. Even if their opponent was a player, Aints didn't feel any particular affinity with them. The ones Aints was close to were his guildmates and their NPCs. If players came out swinging, he would use pain to teach them what fools they were. One good turn deserves another, but that goes for bad turns too. It's only natural. Aints smiled with an air of indifference. The thought that they would be able to do even better experiments if they had players to work with excited him. They would start with the horrible ones he could never perform himself, terminal ones. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, yes. But did you know those words are also meant to prevent excessive retaliation? I want to retaliate excessively, so I don't use that saying. Aints continued in his head. Squishy Moa used to say that. Oh, just what I'd expect from Lord Ainz. Not only is your combat prowess worthy of admiration, but so is your wisdom. Aints didn't have to turn around to feel the wave of respect aimed at him. So will you spend the rest of the day at my lord? No. After we have our bath, I'll work here for a bit before going back in the middle of the night. I have a lot to do over there too. What are you up to? And my plan is to return to my guard duties at NAZICK for a WHLE. I've taken care of all the things I felt I should be present for in person, such as exploring the vicinity of the lake. So once you've returned, the ones working outside Nazarick will be Demiurge with his various responsibilities, Sebas and Solution collecting intelligence in the royal capital, Aura building our base in the forest, and Narbaral and me. That one of the Supreme Bings is doing the work we should be doing. Doesn't sit very well with me, haha. Forgive me, Cocytus, me forgive you, how absurd. You are the ruler of this land, Lord Ince, your word is law. What I said earlier was simply some foolish nonsense. Moreover, the atmosphere shifted and Aints thought, he looked over his shoulder at Cocytus' dark, though he couldn't read his emotions expression. If we were all as outstanding as Demiurge, you wouldn't need to go out yourself, my lord. Ultimately, it's our lack that no, that's not right. You were each made for specific purposes, so it's important that you all do the jobs you were made for. To be frank, you don't need to be able to do anything else. Demiurge is versatile due to his knowledge and wisdom, that's all. Cocytus didn't seem quite convinced, so Aints continued. If you want, you can increase your repertoire little by little. Yeah, you should be learning by reigning over the Lizardman village, right? Your experiences in governance, they will surely benefit you. And if you continue on like that step by step, someday you'll be as versatile as Demiurge. Do you really think it's possible? I don't think it's impossible. Aints spoke euphemistically. No one can match Demiurge when it comes to strategy. Aspiring to be a man like that is a long, hard road, but your efforts will not be in vain. That's how I see it. The two of them walked in silence down the corridor. Then Cocytus said quietly, as if squeezing out the words, "Thank you, Lord Aints. I haven't said anything that deserves thanks, you know." "All right, Cocytus, we ray almost to the baths. Stow that gloom away somewhere before Demiurge and Mare get here." "Yes, sir." Spa Resort Nazarick on Nazarick's 9th level was a wonderful facility. It contained a total of 17 baths, including men S and women S, of 9 different types. The most unusual was probably the Cherenkov bath. The blue light was so bright it seared one's eyes, making for a luxurious atmosphere. When Aints and Cocytus arrived, they ran into someone they didn't expect to see. Lord Aints. The exclamation point might as well have been dotted with a heart. It was Albedo. No, not just Albedo. Behind her came Sholtia and an exhausted-looking Aura. Demiurge and Mare were nowhere to be found. Were they waiting in the changing room? "Albedo, what are you doing here? We thought we'd all come take a bath. Is that why you ray here too?" "Oh right, yes. Exactly. What a coincidence, Albedo. It really is. I've heard it's good to get some exercise and work up a bit of a sweat before taking a bath. Maybe I should sweat with you, my lord." A chill went up Aints' spine. "Ping pong or something like that wouldn't be bad. That's not what I am talking about, you meanie." With the swift motion of a level 100 warrior, impossible for a caster to evade, she approached Aints, who was dressed in only a single robe, and reached out a finger to doodle on his chest. But it slipped F-whoop right between his ribs. Oh. Their voices were loud in the quiet corridor. Of all the stupid things that could happen. Aints winced, and was about to say something to Albedo when her next comment made his face twitch. "My finger went into your special spot." Albedo's cheeks were red, and her eyes glistened. A fragrant perfume was in the air. It was like a scent he sometimes detected in his bed. "Hey, I know I've asked this before, but has she always been this weird?" Aints asked Aura in earnest, with zero affectation, as she flailed around trying to restrain Sholtia. "Sorry, Lord Aints, a lot has happened. You know how things are in Nazarick. Please just consider this overtiredness." "Well, I guess it can be helped then." Albedo, I appreciate your hard work every day." As Aints was about to swiftly move away, a hand clutched his robe. He didn't even have to look down to know who it was. "Seriously, Albedo, what's wrong with you? What has you so worked up? When you say those things to me, a flame lights in my breast. I can feel it all the way in my stomach, a twinge." "So, Lord Aints, no, hold, wait, calm down, Albedo. Cocytus, I'll handle this." A wave of chill blew down the corridor. The sudden change in temperature seemed to bring Albedo to her senses, and the light of reason appeared in her eyes once more. "I can stand by and watch this disrespectful behavior toward Lord Ainz, even if you are the captain of the Guardians." Cocytus stepped between Aints and Albedo with a silver spear in his hands. It was clear that depending on her reaction, he wouldn't hesitate to gut her. "Please excuse me, Lord Aints. It seems I forgot myself. I accept your apology, Albedo." Following that act by his master, Cocytus withdrew, but he didn't put away his spear yet. "I know how much pressure your job puts on you. I am sure there are times you lose yourself and just want to vent. For now, have a nice soak and relieve some of that stress." Cocytus, thanks for your assistance. When he had said what he had to say, he headed into the men's bath. He was just about to duck under the curtain at the entrance when he heard footsteps behind him. Why are you following me, Albedo? Just in case, I'll remind you this is the men's bath, and you go in the women's bath. I thought I would wash your back, no. Besides, I am not going alone. I'll be with the other male guardians. Do you mean to say you have no problem showing them your body? He thought she might say it was fine, since she was a succubus, but she answered immediately.